The one secret additive that turns cold compost into a natural heat machine. Let's be real, few things are more disheartening to a gardener than a lifeless compost pile. You've done everything right, layered your browns and greens, tossed in your kitchen scraps, added grass clippings, and waited patiently for that beautiful, earthy transformation. But instead of rich, dark compost, you're left with a soggy, cold heap that just sits there, kind of mocking your effort. The good news, your compost isn't a lost cause, it's simply underfed, and the fix is easier than you think. The secret is a single, natural additive that jumpstarts microbial life and brings the heat roaring back into your pile: alfalfa. When added in the right way, alfalfa meal, or its more affordable cousin alfalfa pellets, acts like rocket fuel for your compost microbes, transforming a sluggish pile into a thriving biological furnace. Let's dive into how it works, why it's so effective, and exactly how you can use it to turn your compost from cold to cooking in just a few days. Composting isn't magic, it's biology. What drives decomposition is a balance between carbon, nitrogen, moisture, and oxygen. Think of it as a balanced diet for microbes. The browns like dried leaves, straw, and sawdust provide carbon, while greens such as kitchen scraps, grass clippings, and coffee grounds bring nitrogen to the mix. When that balance tilts too far toward carbon, the pile becomes sluggish and cold. The microbes can't reproduce fast enough to generate heat. A cold compost pile isn't broken, it's just hungry for nitrogen. Without enough nitrogen, the decomposers slow down, leaving you with a static heap that can take half a year to break down. The trick isn't to throw in more green waste, which can decompose unevenly and cause odor problems. Instead, what you need is a steady plant-based nitrogen source that feeds the microbial army evenly and naturally. That's where alfalfa shines. Alfalfa isn't just livestock feed, it's one of the most powerful compost activators you can use. It's naturally rich in nitrogen, about 2.5 to 3% by weight, packed with trace minerals, and loaded with triacontanol, a natural plant growth stimulant that fuels microbial metabolism. When alfalfa is added to compost, it acts as a clean, sustainable energy source that sparks a rapid but controlled heat rise. Unlike synthetic nitrogen additives such as urea, which can overheat and sterilize your pile, alfalfa feeds microbes gently and evenly. Within 48 hours, a previously cold compost pile can heat up from 60 degrees Fahrenheit to a toasty 140 degrees. That's the ideal temperature range for microbial activity, ensuring pathogens and weed seeds are destroyed while keeping beneficial bacteria thriving. The beauty of alfalfa is its balance. The meal form breaks down quickly, releasing nitrogen fast, while pellets release it more gradually, sustaining the heat cycle for longer. This dual action makes it perfect for maintaining consistent composting conditions. Let's get practical. The ideal carbon-to-nitrogen ratio for active composting is around 30 to 1. Most backyard piles end up closer to 50 to 1, which is too carbon-heavy. Alfalfa helps correct that imbalance naturally. For a standard 3x3x3 foot compost pile, which is about 1 cubic yard, here's a proven method. First, start with a base layer of browns, like shredded leaves, straw, or paper, about 8 to 10 inches thick. Then add a layer of greens, such as grass clippings, kitchen scraps, or garden waste, about 4 to 6 inches thick. Next, sprinkle about 2 to 3 cups of alfalfa meal per square foot of surface area, or, if you're using pellets, around 3 pounds per cubic yard of compost. As you build the pile, moisten each layer lightly until it feels, kind of like a wrung-out sponge. Avoid soaking it because too much water will actually suffocate the microbes. Once your pile is built, turn it thoroughly to introduce oxygen, and mix the alfalfa evenly. Within 2 days, you'll notice a temperature spike. If you insert a compost thermometer, you should expect readings between 130 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit. This is your sign that, the microbial community is back in full swing. When the temperature drops below 100 degrees Fahrenheit, turn the pile again to reoxygenate it. If needed, sprinkle an additional 1 cup of alfalfa meal per square foot to keep the microbes well fed. If your compost is too dry, compacted, or, just too small to heat up on its own, alfalfa tea can work wonders. It's a simple, effective liquid booster that reinvigorates microbial activity almost overnight. Here's how to make it. Mix 1 cup of alfalfa meal or pellets into 5 gallons of water and let it steep for 24 hours. Stir occasionally, then pour the tea evenly over your compost pile. It adds nitrogen, moisture, and life all at once, jumpstarting a cold or neglected pile. This method is especially useful for smaller or cooler weather compost setups where heat buildup tends to stall. It's kind of like giving your microbes a warm cup of coffee to get them moving again. When alfalfa starts doing its job, the transformation is obvious. The pile develops a pleasant, earthy aroma rather than that sour, anaerobic smell that signals imbalance. You might even see faint steam rising when you turn it, proof that your microbial workforce is burning energy and breaking down material at high speed. Within 2 weeks, you'll notice large chunks of organic matter beginning to soften and darken, a clear sign that decomposition is in full swing. For many gardeners, this means compost can be ready in as little as 8 weeks, months faster than without a nitrogen booster. It's tempting to think that if a little alfalfa makes your compost heat up, more will make it work even faster. But composting is all about balance. Too much nitrogen can overwhelm the system, creating a slimy, ammonia-scented mess. So, stick with moderation, keep the nitrogen content of your pile around 3%, and, make sure to turn it every 7 to 10 days during the active phase. Regular aeration prevents clumping, distributes heat evenly, and ensures oxygen flows freely, an essential ingredient for healthy decomposition. If the pile ever starts to smell strong or sticky, don't panic. Just mix in some dry browns like shredded leaves or sawdust to rebalance the carbon side of the equation. Composting isn't just about managing waste, it's about cultivating a living, breathing ecosystem that turns scraps into soil gold. Alfalfa acts as the perfect natural activator, providing the right kind of nitrogen and nutrients to keep your compost humming along naturally. A few pounds of alfalfa can mean the difference between waiting 6 months for finished compost or having rich, crumbly humus ready in just 2. It's gentle on the environment, easy to use, and completely safe for organic gardening. So the next time your compost pile feels cold and lifeless, don't reach for chemical activators or give up altogether. Just feed your microbes a little alfalfa meal or tea, and watch as nature's furnace lights up again. No magic required, just good biology. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Crop Corner, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with a fellow gardener who's been struggling with a stubborn compost pile. Together, let's keep the soil alive and the compost cooking, naturally.